This is my first venture into the wonderful world of microgreens. So I kind of wanted to show you my setup, talk a little bit about why I'm doing this, and just go through some of those and what my setup is. This is completely experimental. So I've got it in my basement utility room. I'm just seeing if I can just grow the sucker. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that, and then as we're looking at it, talk a little bit about why I'm actually doing this. So I am in my basement utility room here. That is got some hiking gear where I keep all that and Christmas stuff. So obviously it's a wreck down here. I am actually in the process of clearing that rack off so that I can move to the next stage of my microgreens adventure. But I wanted to show you what I did for experiment. So this is actually my second growth. My first growth was in tinfoil pans. It was an abysmal failure from germination to everything else. I don't know if the tinfoil was leaching some type of toxins into the soil or not, or what I did wrong. One of the things was I tried to drill holes in the bottom of the tinfoil pans and to get them watered, and I think that didn't result in proper watering. So anyway, here's my setup. Just cleared out space here on this old baker's rack. And this is day 9 of broccoli. So a couple things. One of the things was this plat over here, this flat over here, these trays, they started out, planted them wrong, and they were upside down. I mean, they were on trays. I planted this tray in a tray that did not, or these plants in a tray that did not have holes in the bottom. So I could only top water them. Then I went online and found a place that basically showed me how to flip those over. And I don't know why I didn't think of it. It was so easy to do that. But basically, you just put another tray on top of it, flip it over, and then put the correct tray. And so now you've got, exposed the bottom of your, they're upside down in the tray, and you've got exposed the bottom of them. But now you put another tray on top that you're supposed to have with the holes in it, flip it back over. Of course, they were laid down, but they stood back up by the next day. So it's pretty awesome how that worked. One of the things you can see here is I've probably got the wrong type of light here. So I've got I guess what's considered a full spectrum LED. This is just something that I got from Wally World here. And on the back of it, it tells you all the spectrums that it has here. I've had people tell me that it's more for blooming than it is for anything else blooming plants. So I have ordered some new lights that are just at the 6500 Kelvin, which is what everybody is using. So those are going to come in, and then I won't have that issue. One of the things you can see by looking at it is you can see that the light is off center from the trays. And the result is that the microgreens grow towards the light. So this is what I have on most of the time. I have started leaving my regular lights on downstairs here. The shop lights on. I don't know what the Kelvin is on them, but that hadn't resulted in anything changing much. I don't know that they're tall enough yet. This is, like I said, day 9, so we'll see. I did pick one. Right now they're about 3 3/4 inch to 4 on day 9. So we'll see if they grow any more between now and tomorrow. But tomorrow is going to be harvest day. So that's kind of my setup now for what I got. This is just completely experimental to see if I could grow them. So I think I can, and with a few tweaks, I think I can get them to grow a little more volume out of them. And so I'm just excited that I could get them to grow at all, because my first foray into it was an abysmal failure, and I just throwed everything away. So, pretty much if you can make mistakes, I have made mistakes. Like I said, that one was planted on the wrong tray to begin with. This one was planted from the get-go on the right tray, and you see there's not much difference between the two. So even though I made a mistake, went back and corrected it after germination, and after they had already been exposed to the light, it's still doing pretty well. One of the mistakes is I think I need to have the thin trays instead of these thick trays. I don't think that, they don't need that much soil, and so that may be some of it, because the roots can't get enough down to get up underneath it and get down to the water. So that could be one of my issues. You know, there's not a lot of roots that are going down here, not a lot of root mat. So whatever water's in there is completely relied on getting, when I place this other heavy tray down on the water, of it being forced up into the bottom of the soil, and those and it's soaking in the soil that way. So why am I doing this? Well, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I am looking at retiring. I'd like to retire in about 4 years, but I recognize I'm going to have some type of, after this past year that's killed my retirement accounts, I am going to have some type of income coming in, and I do want to retire. One of the things about retirement is I like to do some traveling. With microgreens, that may be a little on the difficult side, because you are a farmer and you've got to look after your farm the whole time, and there's always something that's got to be done with microgreens. So unless I can find somebody to do that for me, it's going to be kind of hard to do a lot of traveling, but that is my goal, to do that. Right now, I'm years out, so hopefully years from now, if I get my business established, I'll be able to hire somebody to come and do that. But this is all just experimental, just to see if it's a viable option for me. I'm also a beekeeper, raise bees, and that's a hobby that you can take off that will hopefully turn into some income in retirement, and then, you know, side gigs of what I actually do now, which is home inspections and a construction administrator for an architectural firm. But anyway, I'm an entrepreneur at heart, love figuring things out, love trying to find new business, and so that's why I got into microgreens, and I really like seeing things grow. So that's just how I am. Anyway, follow me along with this. Subscribe down below. Leave me a comment, particularly if you're a microgreen farmer. If you happen upon this video, I'd like to know any tips or tricks that you've got. You've seen my setup. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what I need to change. No criticism is off guards there. Let's start talking about my beard, okay? And then we're going to have some words. In any case, I will be getting back to you and sharing more videos with you.